It's been a while since this champion was running around with the Ghostblade patch a few months ago, and he was dominating the meta. What's funny is that his win rate on that patch, that was lower than the win rate before that patch, because he's difficult to use, and even though he was really broken and strong, don't get me wrong, most casuals just couldn't make him work. So we have obviously the easiest champion in the game right now, Jarvan, along with Hecarim, against one of the hardest, along with, say, your Nidleys and Lee Sins. This Draven's gonna get mega fed, and we're gonna see what we can do as Rengar in a Master Tier Plus game to take over and win. So, Azir in the mid lane, everyone's playing Azir right now, thanks to Faker Senpai. We have here the Tahm Kench coming on down, the Orianna showcasing herself in the bottom lane. So you observe this as a jungler, you watch, you track, you look, you understand, you say, okay, that's normal. I'm used to that, I'm used to having to overcome the adversity of my bottom lane's brain working as expected. Now, obviously what this does do is tell us categorically that Jarvan's on the top side, so we will be sequencing in the same direction. Rengar here obviously slower on these single target camps versus doing your red, Krugs, Raptors, and obviously using the wall to jump over the pit. Well, this is a pit? I guess so, the wall. And Gwen versus Tahm Kench, so this, if you look at the comp on the enemy team, Orianna, Jarvan, Draven, Renata, Gwen, this can be a really tough game if we don't play this properly, especially when it comes to being a death squad, right? Like death ball squad. Most Rengar players and Assassin players very much struggle with this. They say, hey, you know, I'm really fed, but the enemy team just group up and I can do nothing. That's never ever true. So 231 cross timer, very slow. Jarvan, a little slower actually, which is interesting. Both not that quick at this point. We're going to go to the Raptors. We'll keep our eyes on the bottom lane just because we have to. Lucian steps up level 2 first. You know, dashes into the Draven here, and as always with bottom lanes, Jarvan's thinking, didn't you guys get first blood? But I guess not. And while we were watching that, you can see it's warded here, early vision. If you don't see this and if it's late, it's tough, you know? Like, how do you, as a Rengar and a certain champion, kind of get away with this? But we'll use the bowler here to drag the red buff, as you would have seen. And now Jarvan obviously knows he can invade, so if you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource, as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching, coaching VOD libraries, weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's converting junglers to gold, to emerald, to diamond, to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle div every game you play, click the link below or head to virkayu.gg. This is why we drag the camp into the brush, typically, in case of these invades. Nami sees this, she will rotate over. Obviously, if it's doomed, right? If it's categorically doomed, and your bottom lane are dead and there's nothing you can do about this, don't stick it out unless you know potentially you can combo your abilities to outsmite him. And I think that's the only thing I would suggest here. I would try and hang on long enough so that I can potentially outsmite, and then of course I can flash down into the Krug pit. Alternatively, if you don't want to or don't think you can sustain enough damage to take the red and get out, chuck your bowler over the wall, get vision, leap to it, drag that camp down, let him spend time doing the red, just make sure you get your Krug smited, and of course, if your bottom lane is doomed, as I said, reset and now just go topside. If Jarvan then decides to gank your bottom lane and take this, you most likely can snack maybe a second spawn Krugs. You can get some advantages elsewhere, but for now, PvP moments, let's go. We're waiting on the cooldowns obviously here. We have another Q which we will use. We're stacking up velocity. We're going to have an EW and an auto attack, and that's a dead Jarvan. Invade, good idea. Rengar, not coin flipping the smite like I suggested maybe we do. Waiting for his Nami because the Nami was coming, we can do that. My suggestion was if Nami doesn't show up, you have to be by yourself, so. 3 alternatives, really. Coin flip the smite, kill him anyway. Run away, get your Krugs, reset and go the other side. Or if you have rotations, do what he did. Now, Jarvan has died, but he died during the red side quadrant. So we know the bottom side scuttle is up. We know the Jarvan's going to come down and do that first. Here we are, outside and rule, and then go to this. So the Rengar here, I feel like this is a master tier level mistake versus what a challenger jungler would do, which is, I know you're coming down to the blue side. I know you're going to do that scuttle crab. I know bottom lane has prio. I can do absolutely nothing here. I should just go back to base. And don't results base this here, because I don't think we should be here at all. Like, we should already be going top side. Look here, look counter jungling. You know, is mid lane gankable in this situation, or do I just sequence again? Now, obviously, Orianna sticks around, so we get an empowered Ebola. We know Jarvan's there. Azir decides to go in. Maybe Orianna gives us something. Almost. Force a flash shot from the Ori. Yeah, see, this is why you don't want to do this. So this is the master versus challenger kind of issue. Now, Jarvan's most likely Gonna go back to his blue side. I was gonna say most likely double scuttle, but then I remembered he hadn't done his blue side. I could see a psychopathic lower elo jungler in diamond and platinum and emerald. Maybe just forsaking this, double scuttle, and if he knows he beats you, just running here and trapping and killing you again. I could see that happening. It's weird that that doesn't surprise me anymore. That used to surprise me, but it seems people are getting used to this kind of stuff, and I'm like, good. I think it's good in certain cases. I don't think it's good for the way I coach the game. I do prefer, you know, let's just control our camps here, but what the Rengar can then do to punish that lack of observation from the... punish the lack of action on that observation is go and take these counter jungle wall camps. So here, I kind of like doing this, even if it just means getting these out of control, resetting, and now I can go bottom lane and fall back to these, or do this and then gank bottom lane. So that's kind of where I like to go, but you have to know that you have a certain PvP advantage or a certain way to get ahead of the jungle. If you're a super losing matchup, like you just cannot, and the Nami and the Nami might roam, or the Azir's gonna rotate, or the Rengar just beats you 1v1, then it's okay to kind of just focus on your own camps here and focus on your lanes. But the Rengar makes the right play. Does it make sense? Because it's always contextual about matchups. For Jarvan, I would actually kind of like just to go ahead and take the double scuttle and do this, right? Like, you have this ability to do whatever you like. Rengar does obviously take advantage of this, and this guy, again, Master Tier stuff, will lose his camps because of it. They should meet on the Raptor camp, which, in the main channel video we talked about, Rengar decides to pull off. Now we see him on the ward. You see that? So now he's going to be collapsed upon. The more and more I'm thinking this through in my head, the more and more I'm inclined to suggest if you're playing such a champion as Jarvan against such a champion as Rengar, that I think you should categorically go for the double scuttle and protection against your chems. Watch the main channel video. The main channel video I just put out, again, main channel's link below, it talks a lot about when you would do a lot of these things. When do you go for this kind of play? And when do you not? And I think that will kind of maybe provide a bit more clarity than I can do here hypothetically. So, go watch that as well. Helps me also. Now, yeah, you see why, right? You can see the pros and cons of this. In the meantime, on the bottom lane, we've got a 3-2-1 Draven. That's going to be fun. For sure. Because now you see, look, it's 630, right? We'll get 5 from this, but it's a delayed level 5, you see? But does it matter if our level 5 is delayed if the enemy junglers is delayed even more? And that's the kind of mentality we're looking at here. But yeah, maybe it's possible. Alternatively, you can do your blue and just protect your side, but yeah, it's all about prior. It's all about prior matchups. You have to be able to assess these things. You have to. He's really screwed now, though. Like, really screwed. And the Rengar made the exact right play. Because the Jarvan, if he falls back to this as predicted, is just gonna lose everything. And that's what Karthus mains kind of like to do, you see? Because Karthus mains know, against a lot of champions, they get stuck in this thing of like, I need to match my CS permitted to the Karthus. You don't. You can't. It's impossible. So they protect their camps on the wrong side, and the Karthus just takes the other side. Graves too, Nidalee too, like, that's where these things happen. At this stage, this is a bit more of an adventure, but we do have the timer on the Krug, so we want to snack that away knowing Jarvan wouldn't have that timer. And he should, of course, have swapped at this particular stage. So I think if you're trying to get a nice little level 6, you decide, is it quicker to get it from Krugs? Is it quicker to go to Scuttle? Or should I just go back down to this and maybe influence bottom lane with my ultimate? But at the same time, this is losing so heavily at this stage. 1,300 gold to the Draven's advantage. Do I even want to be here? No, I don't want to be here. So I want to make sure I'm counter jungling, getting Scuttle, getting 6, using it on the Orianna with Azir, using it on the Gwen, and getting this Herald because I know I'm going to lose Dragon. Right? Like, that's the kind of thing we're thinking about here. This is good for mind games, though. This is very good for mind games. This is the kind of stuff you think about in a VOD review slowly because you got to speak it through. But in-game, it's snappy, snappy, snappy. Like, in-game, you really got to understand that it's snappy. Now, Orianna still has no flash, so we're timing that non-flash, and we're going for the Ebola because we need to because of the fact that it's Orianna. Good, right? Get the crab, get 6, gank the lane, shove the lane. We know that they could go for Dragon here, so this is going to force a pull-off. Do we want to fight this? Can we fight this? We're going to go in here with the Rengar. Obviously, the Draven's really, really fat. We do have the the Grey Health. Woo, that was a clutch W. And now we can reposition again. Potentially, Orianna will be able to rotate eventually. So, there you go. Nicely done. Jarvan's EQ. They're no freeing that Q, which is good. The cooldown's going to be a bit higher, which is great for these moments, but Mechanically, in and out, use your spacing, as always. Here she is, in the mid lane. Azir now will reposition. We'll go down and do our red, full control. Control your own jungle, first and foremost. But yeah, I think we maybe could have done this into this, if that's a gank you want to go for. So assess, you know, am I trapping the Jarvan on his red side and taking his Krugs and then ganking top lane? Or is it better to kind of probe and have a look, invest a bit of time, fall back to Scuttle, and then ult in mid lane? And as an assassin, this is a bit predatorial in nature, right? Like you're thinking about the hunter mode all the time. So it's good. Ult now 26 seconds until up again. Axiom Architect does help you a lot in that regard as well later on. Pretty big against these kinds of comps. Back to base now. Cash money, more than enough. Let's get the Ghost Blade. Thank you very much. We do enjoy that the best. Dragon, now water just in case. I'm not a fan here of swapping over. Again, like you can definitely go to the bottom side and ult here and grab yourself some kills. But in my mind, I want this. You know what I mean? I want to try and get one of these two so far ahead with myself that the Draven's lead means nothing. But you would assume at this point that the Jarvan's either going to go coin flip and solo this Herald and take it, but most likely, blue side camps, dragging up, gank bottom lane against Snowball the Draven. So can we cut him off? This is fine in principle with the ult for the kills that we can get. My only question is, you know, is the Jarvan in the area? Turns out he isn't. We get the free kill. Good, right? Good. This is fine. If you know you can do this, it's fine. Where is the Jarvan actually? Oh, he's right in the bush. There it is. This is what I'm trying to avoid. But again, mechanics, right? Mechanics. This is such a big thing when you talk about your Rengars. Double bowl of virus and jump out of the bush and distribute some more. Huge. Huge play by the Rengar. There's two schools of thought. And I'm not trying to excuse the way we think in with other champions. But here it's like, okay, look. I anticipate the Jarvan's going to be down here. He might look for these kinds of things. Let me go and kill the Draven because I know I can with my lead. Cool, great. Can you 3v3? If you categorically hit the microphone, I apologize. Categorically cannot 3v3, then I definitely would prefer something here. That's just the truth, okay? But in this case, the Rengar was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna have to shut down the Draven and try to get my ADC back in the game anyway. I think I can beat everybody with mechanics. Let me go do it. But you have to be able to play the mechanics. Too often, I watch a lot of assassin players do the same play, and they lose. They don't kill the Draven. The Draven gets a triple kill. The Jarvan counter ganks and gets a triple kill. Bad things happen all the time. And that's where my hesitation to recommend the play as a default occurs. Tracking was not been such a strong suit of this Rengar overall. We're kind of just randomly probing for camps. Obviously, you can see it just spawned, so a little unlucky actually. But I do think the first order of business should have been always the Herald. That's fine. Obviously. Now we have the timer in this, so we can counter jungle afterwards as we see this. There we go. Snack this up quickly. 11 minutes, 12 minutes. Cool, now we can counter jungle. If he shows up, we kill him categorically, so this is good. Yeah, we see him, we see him, we see him. That's terrible. How are you gonna die to this, though? But how are you actually gonna go ahead and die to this? Anyway, while that happens, Rengar can go ahead and do the red buff. We can do the Krugs if necessary, but we do see the Azir roaming to the top lane, so off we go to the top lane. We can ult. I mean, it is a Gwen, so it's a tougher ask, which is why I was hesitant in my initial assessment. Do we ult the Gwen top lane? That's why I said in your games if you've got a better matchup, because you can see it's Gwen, right? Level 10 as well. We have Herald, though. Jarvan actually ended up dying. Lucian outplayed everybody. All right. Don't know how you're messing up a Jarvan. But this is great, like 8-0-0. The little scruffy. You can see that. Obviously, I hope you can see that. But that's the thing with jungle, and I think that's the most important thing in general. You can have two decisions. One can be more strategically sound, rationally sound. The other can be more aggressive with high risk, but the confidence in your own ability and your fedness and your mechanics to pull it off can mean the upside is just greater. And so the risk in turn is mitigated compared to when other people would make the play. Like if a regular Rengar decided to go make the play on the bottom side, I don't think it necessarily works, which is why I would suggest to you, think a bit more about the map control play, the counter jungling, the Herald. Let Jarvan have your bottom lane for Feast, and then get a little bit stronger, and then you can triple kill later on a bit better. But this guy was like, nah, I'm fed enough. I'm going to go now and do that. I'll get the Herald anyway, no stress. And he has. Perfect. It's good. It's a great example of this. It's never black and white in League, my friends. It's never black and white, especially with jungle. Jarvan on the top side. We saw the Scry's bloom, so we can assume that he is there. We drag the camps down. We see him show here. We're like, okay, cool. We do obviously Have no top lane turret. Thomas Kench will TP. We'll just do a full sequence now. Cash in pocket, 1800. Orianna bottom lane. Ult is up. We do have a triple Q available should we want to use it. Passive 7 seconds left. We're going to press that now. We see the Java. We can also aggress. I hate it when they say that. It's so stupid. Be aggressive is what I wanted to say. Hello, can I kill you? I'm glad I'm leading on from the Java video to this video, because now you can see the catharsis of watching me watch someone obliterate a Javan. Stupid champion. It's nice to see him just be destroyed by a more savant-based jungler. Yes. We always enjoy that, right? Everybody enjoys watching Herkims and Javan lose. Everybody. People don't like Rengar, but trust me, go do this. Think about everything I'm talking about in the moment in a microsecond. Make the right play anyway. Make the right mechanical swap on your abilities anyway. And then do this to other higher level junglers. And you'll see it's not that easy. It takes time. It takes practice. Gotta be good. Ultimate again. Now, cooldown. That's a Krug. 25 seconds. So here, obviously, the entry approach is not as good. But we can E-flash combo. Right? E-flash combo if necessary. Or we can just chuck it there. We go berserk. We're killing our Lucian. No. There we go. Easy kill. Nicely done. Beautiful. So in those cases, what I'm saying is if you flash then E, it's way slower than E-flash. So you E-flash immediately, you get a really quick animation cancel, the stun comes out of nowhere, they can't react to it, you can jump into a brush afterwards, and pretty free overall. Let's take this turret, don't go back to base here, a lot of low elo junglers would go back to base, don't do that, don't do that. Hit this turret, smack this turret, take this turret, soul. Now with 3,200, back to base, please. Dragon is coming up. Brawler's Cooler complete. That is the baseline tech. You can obviously go Aximark here. You can go later. I do want this dragon. Gwen, we're watching this. We have ult. Now we're really fed with Prowler's Claw. And she dies. So we might give up the dragon here for this unless they simply cannot contest. So we're going to watch this. There's a Javan. Doesn't want to contest it from their POV. They might think they have it for free. But Rengar can just move on down. Scuttle. Collapse. Ult 48. They're not helping with the dragon. Orianna's forced to back off. Javan's not interested as well. Like, I do feel like the Javan and Orianna plus the Draven could have easily taken that dragon. Just to get something, right? And now they're all basing. And, you know, ult is up in 32 again. Everyone's here. Lucian ult. We dodged that one there. We do have cleanse if necessary. Just use it for your Qs at this point. 3 kills. TP committed by the Gwen. Azir doing the spacing. You're trying to stay around a bush to get a jump. We'll start off the dragon. Might as well, because we're not going to go there without our ultimate. 17 seconds until it is up again. Free kill. Free objective. Free stats. Less stats than before, though. But I don't really obsess over it anymore. I mean, had a rough go with the dragons lately in terms of early souls, but I don't mind as much, you know. I know the soul's strong and you don't want to give souls as well away at all, but I still feel like some people over-assess on the minor dragons. It's okay to give 1 or 2, like you see here, we gave the first, like, it's fine. You know, you use that for the Herald kind of jungling leads, and then you get the second one pretty easily, even though maybe we should not have. We did fall back to our quadrants here, so just be aware if you are this fed and you do this and your team are ready to keep going, that you're watching this. Do I need to rotate? Should I join them? Or can I keep farming, go for the Herald, and go top lane again? Like, just play the game, right? What does the game require of me? Map control, farming, objectives, split push, team fight, shadowing. Understand these things. And usually just asking yourself makes sense. So, okay, guys, I'm going to do this quadrant. They push up. You're just keeping an eye on, okay, we're good, we're good. All right, cool. I'll keep farming because I don't feel like we need to be here. You guys got a base anyway. I'll kill Gwen because she's upper pushing, you know, and then I'll do the objective. And so you can kind of get good in game with just verbalizing these things. So I would say record your own POV and sometimes pretend you're streaming. Just don't stream if you don't want to, but just pretend you're streaming and talk out loud with your decisions. And I know people hate doing it, but listen to it back. Just because it can help you understand where your in-game decision-making is off completely when you look at it in a VOD review. Like often in these, I just talk about what I would be thinking about in the moment. Can we outplay everybody here? No, so we just take those quick. Also here, not gonna go in here, just take your camps, get out, don't die. Because you're worried about their whole team invading. Some Kench bases as well. Now we see them, so we can go back into the Gromp. Now we can hit the plant, take a Scuttle Crab. Play the Vision. I don't know why no one in the enemy team is doing anything about that, but... Sessa. C'est la vie. Et maintenant, what are we gonna do? Draven's mid lane here. We have ult available, which means we go, 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 go. And Tom Kane, the frog, shows up. Kill the Renata. Always kill either the ADC or the Enchanter ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. Especially Renata is a really good one. You see, we still almost die, so we have to immediately flash out and leave. We don't wait. We respect flash. And now, obviously, because we have Axiom Mark, the ult is up again. That's the juice. That's why we like it with Prowler's Claw here. Don't really need any armor penetration because everybody is super squishy. Wow. We're not needed at all, but with 12-0-3. Azir activates a turret, we activate the Herald. This is a free Baron if we want it to be. Don't need to force it though, please. I see a lot of people forcing a Baron here when simply an inhib will do. Especially with respawn times being quite low still, you know? Like, cut the wave here. There you go. You can see, I just process in real time, look at the map. So you get a good idea. By the time I finish my thought, other things are happening. Like earlier, it's like, do I Herald to go bottom lane? I explain why. I know why, but I explain why. And then by the time I finished, he's already killed Ravens. I like that though. It's like it's a good thing for me also. It's a good thing for you. Do this to your own games, honestly. Teaches you a lot about how you think. Now, Draven's in the mid lane. Thomas Kent is splitting on the bottom lane. This is obviously warded. You can assume that they're all kind of goofing up and going through there because no one walked over this. So we'll just sequence down, drag in up again very, very shortly. So now we see this. You can obviously shadow an ult here. You don't need to base even with 1300. Now we can just probe with the ult, yes. And if people are out of position, we can kill them. Yeah. Check the stopwatch. No stopwatch, instantly killed. Triple Q combo if you need to. Don't think we needed to. Jarvan's there. We're going to steal his blue away. Chuck a bola over the wall. Cool. Problem with this play is now we've got a bit of dead time, so we can just shadow mid. Ult is up again. Dragon will be up. We just wait for it. It's fine. Jarvan running away. Yeah, cool. So you can see there, I mean, I've got a lot of games on Rengar. A lot of games on Rengar. In my first season, I did about 650 games alone in 2014. And obviously, it's changed many times, and builds have changed many times. But keep your eye on this. Keep your eye on this. I mean, Azir's doing work. That's cool. But I coached the guy just before this, and his team started to throw, and we need to rotate, so. He didn't, and they lost from it. So it's okay to finish the objectives if your team got it under control, but always keep your eyes up. Spit them to me! Ooh, odd, but yeah, so I played Rengar a lot, and you can see in these kind of moments where you do a full sequence, you look at your gold, and I don't really need to base, but there's someone here, I can go kill him, and you just press R to go probing and hunting, and it's just a mentality, right? And I try to get a lot of Assassin players to think like this. Because when you think like this and you understand these things that we're talking about, the decisions A or B, the hunter style, that's when you start to really come alive. Now, Oriana's on the bottom side. We're waiting, obviously, to make sure we get that Edge of Night. Here, I think we're so far ahead. Even though Last Whisper is good, we don't need it. The utility of the ult is better for us. Because, obviously, it is a death ball squad. So you don't want to be in a position to not have your ult for flanking, for splitting, for ins and outs. And again, we're watching our team here. This is obviously something you can do when you in a very easy winning game. But please bear in mind, sometimes you got to be with your team. This is also fine too. Powered Q is still a thing. Catch the next wave. Azir will do this. We still don't have an inhib. Like, that's the important thing, right? With 24 minutes, we still don't have an inhib. It is an Orianna, it is a Gwen, it is a Jarvan, it is a Draven, it is a Renata. Yes, Azir and Tom Kench and Rengar can do enough by themselves, but you never want to get into a position where it's like you're so detached from the game that your team ends up solo throwing and you're not around. You know? Games can still be lost here. That was really short. And there's many jokes about that, Draven. Because you play Draven, there's many jokes about that. Yeah, feel free to do this, but obviously pay attention to the zoning. Everyone's zoning. We got a zero of the wall with the Sand Soldiers. Super snacky. Now I think we can obviously go for Last Whisper item. No real BT need this game. But honestly, if you're going for an end, you can always BF Sword and Elixir, but yeah, this is the smarter thing because at the same time, Gwen has bonus resistances, Jarvan has bonus resistances, and you just want to be able to get through it. Hunter mode activated. See, look, bunched up. Gwen bottom lane. Dead. That's it. That's it. That'll be game. Huge, right? You probe, you go around the flank, you look, you think, okay, there's 3, are there 5? You see Gwen, Ori's top lane. All right, free to go and make sure I get the kill. They can't react because I insta-shot them so quickly. Ult is up again. Jarvan's gonna die now as well. Both. Here's Gwen. Just attack her with empowered Qs here. Still, you take a lot of damage, so positioning is key, but 18-0-4. Exemplary flanks, great pathing. Nice measured aggression, like it wasn't too aggressive where we're like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? Kind of jungling a little off maybe. We could have done a few things more refined, but otherwise those are real, like in the moment things, it doesn't really matter. Just great game, a good example of how if you want to get master tier, whatever rank you are, the things you can do to carry anybody, even if a Draven gets fed, does a lot of damage. Thank you very much for watching. Virkayu GG for all the jungle stuff, and as always, I will see you all in the next one.